Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Thursday, June 26, 2025. I'm Truska Campbell with the details. The Public Accounts Committee, the PAC, convened today for the first time in 14 years. The meeting, which began shortly after 10 a.m., was chaired by Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Godwin Friday, who expressed satisfaction with the session. Following the meeting, Dr. Friday spoke to SVG-TV News, noting that he was joined by 3 other opposition members, 6 government members, and 4 witnesses.
We had the Accountant General, the Director of Audit, we had the Budget Director, and the Director General of Finance and Planning. And I must say that the proceedings, the questioning of the witnesses and the responses and so forth that we received, they were very, very helpful in the work of the committee, and I want to thank them for their professionalism and the time that they've given to it. And certainly we have, there are some preliminary issues that we had to resolve earlier on, and that took some time. And so we still have quite a lot of work to do in this committee, and we are going to continue to go through it, and then at some point we will make the report to the Parliament. Well, we have to continue with the work that we started today, and as soon as we get the hearings completed, then we will do the report that is necessary, that is required by the law for the Parliament. That time frame I cannot say because we have to complete the work of the committee, and today we didn't get as much done as I would have hoped, but hopefully we'll be done with a lot of preliminaries, and we don't have to go back over that again, and so we can deal with now the substantive issues that we have identified, and they're quite important issues, as you might imagine.
Minister of Finance Camille Gonsalves also spoke briefly with SVG-TV News, stating that he could not disclose any information regarding the proceedings, as the rules prohibit the release of such details until the committee's findings are formally presented to Parliament. Dr. Friday had previously indicated that the PAC meetings are intended to be open to the public, but today's session was held behind closed doors. He acknowledged this and expressed hope that future meetings will be made accessible to the public.
The last committee meeting was I think in 2011, but there have been a number of challenges that the Public Accounts Committee has had, and they're not over yet. One was a lateness in the reports, and that's a matter that we've continuously raised publicly, the reports of the Director of Audit. The other was the same thing about that not having specified rules on which to proceed, and objections that had been raised in the past by the members of the government. And promises had been made. In 2004, the Prime Minister, for example, in a statement in Parliament said, basically saying that the rules or the conventions or the practices that are governing the Public Accounts Committee weren't sufficient, that they were going to bring regulation. That's 2004, and we still haven't got them. So we are trying now to proceed in a way that you're taking best practices from here and there and trying to put up hodgepodge as you go forward. We need to do better than that.
The opposition leader has in the past faced criticism for not convening the committee despite being its chair. Addressing that issue, Dr. Friday explained that the delay was not due to a lack of willingness, but rather due to a number of logistical and administrative challenges that had to be overcome.
And of course, as you know, I did invite people to come to the committee because I prefer to have it in the open. And I had made this public. That's my view, because other countries in Barbados, it's open, in Jamaica it's open, lots of other countries, and the tendency is more than half the countries that have public accounts committees have them open to the press and to the public. So this is what I wanted to see, especially in light of the fact that we have had this heightened public interest in the work of the Public Accounts Committee. So that is something we'll be working on. And of course, I've said this over and over again, that we really need to have the rules that govern the work of the committee done so that we could know exactly how to proceed and who can be where and what can be done to make it more available to the public and more effective use of the time of the officials who come and all the parliamentarians who are there.
While specific details of today's meeting remain confidential, other opposition members expressed their satisfaction that the PAC has finally resumed its oversight role after more than a decade of inactivity.
And support to our leader. There will come a time when we'll speak. Today is not that day. Well, it's our first time also in this, my first time, and it's a learning experience, and I'm looking forward for the reports.
And looking forward to raising questions again as we go back in of the witnesses and making our contribution to the accountability mechanism in our country is effective. And now that the way has been cleared for it to do, the Speaker has made that very clear, that we have this meeting here today, and we've delved into important matters. We will continue that process so we get the work of the people done, which is what we always wanted to do.
Well, I'm very happy to be here as part of the Public Accounts Committee. I bear the distinction of being a public servant in the Ministry of Finance previously, and now I'm here as a Member of Parliament, so it would be very interesting to see how things unfold. But I'm very happy, I'm very proud of Dr. Friday and his chairing of the meeting, and we look forward to really positive things going forward.
Insurance companies are exploring new avenues for collaboration and public education in an effort to increase insurance coverage across the country. The discussions followed a recent business luncheon featuring Budget Director Ken Morris, which focused on the potential impacts of global tariffs on the financial and insurance sectors. Participants at the event agreed that more must be done to educate the public on the importance of insurance, particularly in light of the increasing risks such as natural disasters. Representatives from several insurance companies attended the luncheon, including Cecil Mackey of Metrocent Insurance.
And based on the question and answer session and the feedback that we are getting from not only insurance providers but persons in the direct financial sector, the credit unions, the banks, it is felt that maybe it is more than time that all stakeholders, that is the sector, Ministry of Finance, the FSA, the banks, the credit unions, we come together and come up with a common approach, a joint approach in terms of improving on the less than 20% current penetration ratio of insurance in the population of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have about 30,000 plus houses in the country, and when you have a penetration of less than 20%, you have a serious problem on your hands if there is a disaster.
Stanley Brown of Sagicor acknowledged that insurance providers themselves must take more responsibility for the low level of coverage, especially during times of disaster. He emphasized that companies need to do more to build trust and awareness among the population.
I think it must be a partnership with government and all of FSA, the insurance sector, as we seek to inform and educate people about the need to have insurances. Our experience in the Grenadines should be enough to warn us that things can happen. So I think part of the blame has to be placed at the feet of the insurance industry. I think we have been a little comfortable and relaxed and allow things to just flow. I think there has to be a concerted effort within the industry to not just to educate, but to have a aggressive sales program to convince people of the need to have insurance for their houses especially, and government cannot continue to be the insurer for its result. I mean, obviously we have a good government who responds to people's need, but that's not an ideal case. The insurance industry must become aggressive.
Meanwhile, Budget Director Ken Morris urged insurance companies to embrace more innovative strategies to improve their public image. He said doing so could lead to increased consumer confidence and ultimately drive more people to seek insurance coverage. In other news now, Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment Sinclair Jimmy Prince told Parliament this week that no pre-medical interns have been terminated in response to a question raised by opposition MP Daniel Cummins. MP Cummins expressed concern over the reports that 5 interns who began their training in 2025 had been sent home indefinitely after 4 months of internship. He questioned the reason for what he described as the termination of the their placements. In response, Minister Prince clarified that the interns in question were pre-interns who had completed their pre-internship phase and were now awaiting the formal release of their internship post under the government staffing establishment. Minister Prince also provided background on the structure of the medical internship program under the Ministry of Health, highlighting that the program was accredited by the Caribbean Association of Medical Councils, the CAMC, in February 2024. This accreditation comes with specific standards and requirements that must be met before interns can be officially appointed.
That graduates of medical schools, depending on their accreditation status, successfully complete a 2-month CAM-HP, and this is the accreditation body, or equivalent accredited medical school of 4-month pre-internship before commencing their formal internship. This pre-internship is designed to prepare these doctors who come from many medical schools. For instance, we have people in Cuba and some other schools around the region, for the intense 1-year internship program. The pre-interns are given a stipend under the SET program and are not employed on the government establishment. 2, successful completion of the pre-internship then allows the doctors, now called Intern 1, to enter the 1-year internship, which is divided into 4 3-month rotations in internal medicine, general and subspecialty surgery, pediatric and obstetrics and gynecology. Successful completion of all these 4 rotations is required to be considered as having completed this year of internship, and provisional registration is then granted to these interns. These interns are employed in a 1- or 2-year government posts. On gaining provisional registration, the intern, this is number 3, the final one. On gaining provisional registration, the intern is then required to successfully complete another year of rotations, including rotating through the accident and emergency department, medical subspecialty areas, and community medicine as an intern 2, to be considered for full registration as a medical practitioner in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. These interns from non-CAM-HP or equivalent accredited medical schools are also required to successfully complete Part 1 and 2 of the CAMC examinations.
Minister Prince also noted that the ministry is actively working to address the delay, ensuring that interns transition from pre-internship phase to full internship status.
We cannot say that they were terminated indefinitely. All 15 vacant internship posts have been released. The names of all pre-interns eligible to commence the medical internship program were submitted to the Public Service Commission via the Personnel Department for formal appointment, and I've been advised that that has been done. Additionally, the ministry extended invitations to all former interns who registered or who resigned, or unsuccessful in the program in 2024 to meet on April 22nd, 2025 with the Chief Medical Officer to provide feedback on their time in the internship program and their reasons for leaving or not being successful in their rotations. Those who attended were guided on how to reapply for future internship opportunities if interested. Some of them were not interested. Their feedback and recommendations were communicated with the senior staff.
On the issue of staffing at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, MP Cummins also asked how many doctors' positions remain unfilled, the reasons for the staffing gap, and what steps are being taken to assist with both affected interns and the broader hospital workforce.
At present, Madam Speaker, we have 24 medical intern posts. 6 medical intern posts remain vacant, and that's because there are no medical interns waiting at the moment to take up these positions. 36 medical officer posts, 1 medical officer remains vacant. 22 consultant posts, 2 consultant positions remain vacant. That is because there's some, promotions to take place in that particular category. 12 senior registrar posts, 2 senior registrar posts remain vacant, awaiting the return of clinicians currently on duty on study leave due to return this year, 2025. 21 registrar posts, 3 registrar posts remain vacant, 1 at Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, awaiting the return of clinicians on study leave due to return this year, again, 2025. Community health, dental intern posts. Both dental posts are currently filled. 20 district medical officer posts, 1 post is currently vacant, and we are trying to fill that one. What is being done to assist these interns as well as the staffing shortfall at the hospital? The ministry has undertaken, Madam Speaker, several measures to support the interns during their pre-internship and internship and to address the hospital staffing. Successful submission in 2025-2027 budget for more positions of the medical doctors. We were successful in getting 1 consultant more, 2 registrars, that's senior registrars, 2 registrars, 2 medical officers, medical intern, 2 more. The ministry continues to advocate for the release of posts as vacancies arise and promptly recommends suitable applicants to the service commissions for appointment.
Minister Prince stated that the ministry continues to collaborate with the Department of Personnel to ensure adequate staffing across all health categories, including medical professionals. He emphasized that the government is implementing a broader human resources for health initiative, which includes the construction of a new acute care hospital at Arnisvale. Minister Prince reaffirmed the government's commitment to strengthening the National Health Service, ensuring that facilities such as the Milton Keaton Memorial Hospital are adequately staffed and equipped to deliver high-quality care to the Vincentian public. Close to 30 chefs from various restaurants across St. Vincent and the Grenadines received professional training today from Executive Chef Angela Holland Glasgow, a Barbadian Vincentian with over 30 years of experience in the food industry. The training, which took place at Young Island, focused on food costing in menu planning, a critical area in many chefs and restaurant owners overlook when managing daily operations. Chef Glasgow emphasized the importance of food costing, explaining that understanding the cost of ingredients and portion control is essential for profitability and long-term success in the culinary business.
And restaurateurs to know the actual cost of their dish. And when we look at costing, we are looking at portion sizes as well. We are looking at the menu planning, so we are looking at the components of a dish. And costing, as you know, costing affects our bottom line, and we are not in a business to lose. We are in a business to make some money. So I think that this exercise is going to be useful, for the culinarians in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
SVGTV News spoke with 2 participating chefs who described the session as both informative and educational, stating that it provided valuable insights to help them improve their business operations and enhance customer service.
I am not affiliated to any restaurants at the moment. I am an aspiring entrepreneur, so I am planning on opening my own restaurant under the name of Tammy's Cutting Board, seeing that it's also cost control, and as an aspiring entrepreneur, I would like to know how to be able to price my products that I am going to be putting out there, the dishes and the components of that dish.
Restaurant business and bar business, you find that if you notice, you go to different business places, the cost of their food, the cost of their products vary. And so I think sometimes, that's because where we buy our raw materials from and how persons cost. And I think sometimes we just look at what other person's prices and just price ours, to meet that. But what I've learned yesterday and what we are doing today is really getting down to the nitty-gritty and understanding that every single item has a cost, and as such, if it is in the meal, if it is in the drink, then that cost should be added to the final product so that you can be able to manage how you're doing it and manage your profits better. So.
Meanwhile, Chef Angela Holland Glasgow shared her experiences so far during her visit and said that she is impressed with the local cuisine and the widespread use of local produce. She noted that this reflects positively on the sustainability of the culinary industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
of local produce in St. Vincent, and it was really great to see, you know, how we utilize all of our local ingredients. We had crab soup, you know, with some miniature coconut dumplings. We also had ice cream. We had a local corn ice cream, which was superb. We had our mutton. They also put on a kale, a fresh kale salad with some passion fruit vinaigrette. So that experience, you know, was great. Also, we visited some restaurants. We visited is Ada restaurant. It's a Turkish restaurant, but again, they infuse a lot of local ingredients. I was really excited about the beetroot salad, which is local, and it had some local goat cheese. That was the highlight of the dish.
Tomorrow, Heritage Square will host the Restaurants Week Food Safari, an event that will highlight dishes made primarily with locally sourced ingredients. Chef Angela expressed her excitement for the event, saying that she is looking forward to seeing more creative uses of the Vincentian produce. Welcome back. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has observed a noticeable increase in the number of young people participating in carnival festivities. As a result, law enforcement officials are urging parents and guardians to take their responsibilities seriously in ensuring the safety and well-being of their children during the carnival season. This concern was raised by members of the RSVG Police Force during a recent episode of Cop Chat program, which focused on the theme Let's Celebrate Our Culture, Crime-Free. Corporal Ryan Barber emphasized the importance of adult supervision and the need for communities to work together in protecting minors from potential harm during public celebrations.
Parents has to ensure that children are taught is the area of safety, their own personal safety, and not only personal safety, safety of themselves around areas. So you go to a carnival function, as a parent, you should always tell your children, in case of a mishap, in case of there's violence, these are the roads that you should take, these are the subsequent actions that you should follow. And by doing this, it would ensure their safety and for them to return home back to you. And I want to reiterate the legislation. Parents, there are legislations to punish you if you abandon your kids, you neglect them, or you're not taking full responsibility for them. So for this carnival, as Sergeant Billy said, when I look at videos, I'm seeing a lot of kids. And I mean, they're the next generation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they have to enjoy our culture. However, parents must take full responsibility for their children.
The Carnival and Christmas seasons are seen as critical times for raising crime prevention awareness, as they often coincide with a spike in criminal activity. This according to Sergeant Stephen Billy, an executive member of the Crime Prevention Unit, who spoke on the Cop Chat program today. He noted that both the Carnival and Christmas periods present opportunities for criminal behavior and emphasized the importance of educating the public on how to stay safe.
The why basically is Carnival time. We have more persons leaving their homes, more persons gathering in crowds to, have fun and celebrate our culture. And that, being frank, more persons consuming alcohol and other things like that. So we recognize that it's a heightened time that criminals will be thinking of opportunity to commit crimes against the property and even against the person. So we want to go out there, and we want to be out there proactively giving these information to the public so that they can know how to protect themselves, how to protect their homes, and what to do when they get to these crowded areas. What should they do as it relates to when they are drinking, and how should they drink when they're accepting drinks on persons, how they should do these things. It is really to bring, to remind our citizens of the dangers that will be lurking, what criminals might be thinking of doing, perpetrating crimes when the opportunity presents itself. So it's basically to stay safe, not just for individuals, but for a holistic approach towards crime fighting and crime prevention. That is basically why we're having these, because we didn't recognize that there are going to be more persons away from their home, more persons in Kingston, more persons gathering for shows and for other activities. and criminals will want to take the opportunities presented to them. So we want to ensure as much as possible our patrons, our citizens and visitors alike understand what is required of them while they're having fun, how to secure their homes, how to secure their town.
A powerful lineup is set for Calypso semi-finals scheduled for Sunday, June 29, 2025, with 8 of 17 competing Calypsonians being former Calypso monarchs. This year's competition promises to be one of the most exciting yet, showcasing some of St. Vincent and the Grenadines' top lyrical talents. President of the SVG Calypsonians Association, Earl Cabba Bennett, expressed his excitement for the upcoming show, which for the first time will be held at the cruise ship terminal in Kingstown. The event is fittingly themed An Evening with Legends.
Look at the lineup. Let me just pull out some stuff for you. In that lineup, there are eight former Calypso monarchs. 8. With 16 crowns. Manzangi, 4 crowns. Vibrating Skakes, 3 crowns. Fire Empress, 3 crowns. Tajo, 2 crowns. That is 12. Lord of Mercy, Abijah, Ipa, and Charles Mackenzie, 1 each, 16 crowns. Imagine that. Are you going to pay less than $2 to get inside there? In fact, you're paying far less than $2 because it's $30 early board. And not only that, you have an 11-year-old who established a record last year, for being the youngest person to have made the semi-finals. And I know there's a saying, and this young lady, like hog to mud, stuck to it. When it's nice, you do it. How many times? When it's nice, you do it. Twice. And she is again in the semi-finals for 2025.